Rocky, was that a fumble or was his knee down?
No, absolutely not. It was his knee was down, Ken. And here's the deal: I've for at least the last year or so, I've been a proponent of just getting rid of replay altogether because it's not worth it. I mean, the replays they add an extra 20, sometimes 30 minutes onto a game, which is fine. As a fan, we're willing to pay that price versus being able to spend time with our families or do chores or spend our entertainment elsewhere. We're willing to pay that time price in order to get the call right. But I feel like in these critical situations, more times than not, Ken, we're not getting the call right. So if we're not going to get it right, just do away with the replay altogether, put another 2 or 3 officials on the field, and just live with the call, live with the human element. I mean, this was clearly – my wife doesn't know one darn thing about football, and she clearly saw that the knee was down before the ball came out. You ask 100 guys in a bar, and 100 of them, 100 non-biased people will say that knee was down. It should not have been a fumble. And I don't know why we continue to deal with this replay stuff when it's supposed to get the call right and it doesn't.
John, I think the NFL likes drama. I think and with no replay, think of the drama that would bring.
No, I see what Rocky's saying, and I kind of like that way in baseball too. I trust the human element, but the way our televisions are now and the high-definition character of everything, if all of a sudden, and there's so much money bet on football, if you see that you missed that call and there is no replay and they weren't able to overturn it, you're asking for a big crisis then.
Yeah, well, that's what we lived with for how many years with the NFL. Yeah. And then you're right, the technology kind of caught up to that. We're going to hear from Marvin Lewis on that in just a little bit.
One of the things that I think is interesting, too, and I realized this in New York, and Marvin said this in Pittsburgh. When we go to a Bengals game and you see a play of any controversy, it could be they just keep replaying it, just like we see it on television there. You go to New York last week, and there were a couple of controversial plays. They don't show anything. And he said Pittsburgh went blank, like for the Tyler Boyd thing.
They homer.
Yeah, they don't show those things. And I was really surprised because down here it's like free reign to show whatever you want and let people see what you're seeing at home.
Well, Rocky, could a solution...
But guys, if the technology is there, and yes, it's there, and we have the high-definition cameras from 17 different angles, if it's there, why are we still missing the call? So whether there's replay or not, it's still subjective. There still has to be someone, whether it's the officials on the field, the official in the booth, or the official in New York who's overseeing all of it. It's still a subjective thing, and they're not getting it right. I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. They should be able to get it right with all this technology and extra sets of eyeballs, but they're not. So if they're not going to get it right, I would rather have my football games get over in 2 hours and 45 minutes instead of 3 hours and 15 minutes and be able to get on with my day instead of dealing with the hassle of the replays and sitting there and then still not getting the call right.